Yes, my name is Tom Sawyer. I don't want to be no doctor or no lawyer. Fishing by the river, that's the only place to be. I want to be free sitting under a tree, that's me. Tom Sawyer, me and Unc Finn just playing by the river, chasing that steamboat teacher, let me be. I wanna be free sitting under a tree. That's me!
Hello, Sheriff.
Howdy, Pat. How's Muff doing today?
He's just fine, Sheriff.
Is he eating anything?
Yes, sir. Breakfast and lunch.
That's good. I want to make sure he's healthy when he comes to trial. What about that defense lawyer, Mr. Fisher? Has he come by here yet?
Yeah. He was out here quite a while talking to Muff like they was old friends. He's from St. Louis, I think.
Mm-hmm. If you ask me, it's a waste of the taxpayers' money having a big city lawyer defending this case. I don't think there's any question about the fact that Potter's the one who killed Doc Robinson.
No doubt about that.
One drink, that's all. Just one little drink.
Quiet down, order in the court.
Hey, wait a minute, Joe, there's Tom. Hey, Tom, where are you going?
We're having a whole lot of fun, Tom. Come and see.
Yeah, Joe, what are you guys doing?
We're having a trial. A stray cat killed his bird, so now we're putting the cat on trial for murder.
Huh?
You know, Tom, just like Muff Potter.
I'm the judge here, and I've made up my mind. This cat's a murderer, which means she's gotta hang.
How do you know she's the one that did it, Ben?
No doubt about it. I seen her at my dad's store chasing our canary just the other day, Tom.
It don't matter what you saw the other day. It don't mean she killed this one.
Of course she did. When we found her, she had it in her mouth.
Well, another cat might have gotten that bird, and she picked it up later.
What we really need is some witnesses to testify.
I object. We have all the witnesses we need.
Yep. Let's have order in the court now. Whoever witnessed this cat killing the bird has to say so.
Now I'm gonna settle the score.
If there's anybody here who saw the cat do it, raise your hand now. Wait a minute, Tom. You're the defense lawyer, and the trial's not over yet.
That game ain't very much fun if you ask me.
Suit yourself. Well, I'll be. Wonder what's eating him today.
They don't know that cat is guilty, not for sure. It's just like Muff Potter. Everybody thinks he's the one that murdered Dr. Robinson, but I know for a fact it was Injun Joe.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing.
You know, for some time now, you've been looking at me kind of funny, like you're scared of me. Why is that, boy?
I don't know what you mean.
Ain't polite, you know, staring at folks like that. I'm thinking that you owe me an apology, boy. You do that, and then we can be friends.
All right, I apologize.
You there, Injun Joe.
Afternoon, Sheriff Collins. What can I do for you?
Just want to remind you to be at Muff Potter's trial tomorrow. You're the only eyewitness we got, and the prosecutor's depending on your testimony.
You worry too much, Sheriff. I'll be there.
See you then.
Poor Muff. Just one mistake, and now he's gonna hang for it. That fella's gotta be awful careful.
visit in the jail last night, the bars on Muff's window felt kind of loose. Do you think we could help him escape?
It wouldn't work. He'd only get caught again, and then folks would think he did it for sure.
Everybody in town's talking about poor old Muff like he's the devil or something. Whenever I hear him, I want to tell them how wrong they are.
Know what you mean?
Now I'm wondering if maybe we did the wrong thing. Swearing that oath like we did.
What do you mean?
You know the oath we swore that night after we saw the murder? Not to ever tell a living soul about it?
You know what Injun Joe would do to us if he ever found out?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Everyone's so sure that Muff did it that no one will believe us even if we do tell him what we saw. The sheriff will listen to us and might even believe us eventually and go after Injun Joe, but we won't last that long.
Injun Joe will find out we saw what happened a long time before they arrest him.
And then, you know what he'll do.
You think he'd use a knife or a gun?
I got a hunch it could be something even worse than that.
Slow and painful, I bet.
You were at the cemetery that night, weren't you?
Sid, go to bed.
I'd bet anything you were, weren't you?
You're dreaming, Sid. Now go to sleep, will you?
You're the one that's been dreaming, Tom. You've been talking in your sleep for days now.
Is that so?
You've been saying some pretty strange things.
Like what, for instance?
Ah, he's gonna get me! I don't want to die! He murdered the doctor! Blood! I want to tell, I swear! Please, don't kill me!
Stop doing that!
Muff's gonna come back to haunt me because it'll be all my fault! Blood!
Stop it! You're crazy, Sid. I didn't say any such thing. You're just dreaming it all up.
I'm not!
You're hearing things.
My hearing's just fine, Tom!
Shut up, Sid. You hear me?
Oh, come on, Tom. You can tell me. I'm your brother. Tell me what happened to Dr. Robinson that night. What is it you can't tell anyone?
One more word and I'll strangle you. Yoo-hoo! Anybody there?
That you, Tom?
It's me and Huck. We brought you some tobacco.
Here.
I sure do appreciate it. Thank you, boys.
We wanted to bring you some whiskey, but we couldn't get any.
Well, it's the thought that counts, boys.
We'll try to bring it the next time we come to visit you.
If there's anything else you need, we'll try and get it for you.
I sure would love to have a drink, ain't no doubt about that, but the sheriff gives me 3 square meals a day, and I got a bunk to sleep in and a blanket to keep me warm. Considering the terrible thing I done, they're treating me better than I deserve.
There's something I gotta ask you. Was you really the one that killed Dr. Robinson?
Yep. Not that I had a mind to kill him. It was nothing like that. It's just that I was so drunk I didn't know what I was doing. Never did know when to stop. Always knew liquor'd be the death of me. A man's likely to do just about anything when liquor's got a hold of him and not even know he done it. Why, I can't even remember a thing about what I done. All of a sudden, my hands were bloody, and I couldn't figure out where it all come from. Thought maybe I'd cut myself. And then I saw the body.
I heard somewhere that if you can prove you didn't know what you was doing, you can't be found guilty.
There ain't no doubt I'm guilty, Huck. I was standing there with the knife in my hand and blood all over me and the doctor laying dead on the ground. I deserve hanging. Tell you this, though, until that trap door opens underneath me, you 2 boys are the best friends I got. I can't thank you boys enough for what you done. I reckon you're the best 2 friends I ever had, and I'm beholden to you. The only thing I'm sorry for is that we couldn't be friends a little longer.
Now listen to me. Don't give up yet. You gotta keep hoping, you know?
Boy, I wanna shake your hand. Thanks again, boys, for everything you done. Couldn't ask for more than having two friends like you. No, sir. If only I'd known you sooner, maybe things would have been different.
Oh, I just don't know if I can stand it any longer.
Stand what?
Not telling anyone about it.
What'll we do?
Listen, Huck, I know we swore not to tell, but if I could find some way of doing it without anybody knowing that you were there with me, would that be all right with you?
Long as Muff thinks he did it, what good would it do?
You're right, Huck. That's the one thing I can't seem to find a way around. I could yell my head off in the middle of town and it wouldn't make no difference unless Injun Joe confesses that he's the one who did it.
And he'll never do that.
Of course, if he was accused and he thought folks believed it, then he would... That just might do it, Huck.
Hey, where you going?
To see Mr. Fisher, the defense lawyer.
Lawyer? What for?
I gotta go and tell him how he's gonna defend Muff at the trial tomorrow. See you later.
Full moon tonight. That must be it.
Take a guy like that.
I'll arrest the next man who does that. All right, Muff, move along. Sorry, Sheriff. And you're gonna get sorrier.
As far as I know, there wasn't no event in the history of St. Petersburg that so many people wanted to go to as the murder trial of Muff Potter. Ain't no tin of sardines was ever packed tighter than the courtroom was that day.
Come to order. Now quiet down. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, please continue.
Certainly. Thank you, Your Honor. Now, as I understand it, you went to the cemetery with Dr. Robinson and the defendant here. Now, will you please tell the court why the three of you were there so late at night?
To dig up the body of Hoss Williams and take it back to the doctor's office.
For what purpose?
I answered that question already. Didn't the sheriff tell you?
The questions the sheriff asked you must be answered again in this courtroom. Your answer, please.
All right. He wanted that body for the same reason he wanted the other bodies we dug up for him. When Dr. Robinson got those bodies back in his office, he would examine them.
And why did he do that? Did he ever tell you?
He said you could learn a lot about diseases that way and why people died.
You said this wasn't the first. Exactly how many were there?
I don't know, 3 or 4.
You don't know?
There were 4, all right.
Was Muff Potter there with you each time?
Yeah, that's right.
All 4 times.
That's what I said, isn't it?
Afternoon, Sid. Tom still upstairs?
No, he's gone.
Huh? Gone? That boy'll be the death of me. I told him I needed his help today, and he's run off anyway.
Aunt Polly?
Yes, Sid?
I thought you ought to know that Tom's been having these awful bad dreams every night.
Really? What makes you think so, Sid?
Well, he's constantly talking in his sleep, and he yells, too, and it's always about horrible things like
What?
murder and blood and Dr. Robinson.
Dr. Robinson, you say?
Yes, and I think Tom was out there that night and saw the killing.
My goodness, that was several days ago. Why didn't you tell me, Sid?
Well, I wasn't sure until last night, Aunt Polly.
Well, that explains it. I thought he was acting that way because he was sick. That's why he had no appetite and wouldn't see his friends. Poor Tom. No wonder he's been so moody. Poor boy. Oh, to think of how horrible it must have been for him. And in a cemetery. That's strange.
Mm-hmm. What?
What on earth was Tom doing at the cemetery in the middle of the night?
Please go on. What did Mr. Potter do then?
I saw him raise the knife above his head and bring it down with all his might and stab the doctor. It all happened so fast, so sudden, I didn't have time to stop him. I've known Muff Potter for a long time, and I just couldn't believe he'd do something like that. Not Muff. It was the liquor. He'd had so much to drink he didn't know what he was doing.
You've stated that Mr. Potter drew a knife.
Yes, sir. You heard me right.
Was it this one?
That's it, all right.
I submit this knife to the court as Exhibit A, Your Honor. The prosecution doesn't see any need to ask this witness any more questions at this time.
Very well. Your witness, Counselor. Have you any questions for this witness, Mr. Fisher? Do you wish to cross-examine?
No, sir.
Are you sure, Mr. Fisher? May I remind you that this is the key witness for the prosecution?
If it please the court, I merely wish to remind the witness that he's under oath. No questions, Your Honor.
Just what do you mean by that, Mr. Fancy-Pants lawyer? You calling me a liar?
Listen, you quiet down, behave yourself. Understand? Very well, witness may step down, but you may be recalled to the stand, so don't leave the courtroom. Order, order in the court. Mr. Prosecutor, you may call your next witness.
I call Donald Taylor. Would you please come forward and be sworn in? You're positive?
It's his, all right. I've seen him use it for carving wood.
So, you're positive this knife belongs to Mr. Muff Potter?
Yes, sir.
Very well. You're a witness, Counselor.
Witness may step down.
I remember thinking how strange it was seeing Muff down in the river taking a bath. Ain't like him at all, and he was scrubbing himself so hard that whatever he was trying to get rid of must have been awful hard to wash off.
I see. So then, from what you saw, it could have been blood. Isn't that right?
No questions. You may call the next witness.
Calm down. You hear me? Quiet. Mr. Fisher, as counsel for the defense, it's your duty to use whatever opportunities present themselves during the proceedings of this trial to establish the innocence of your client, like maybe asking the witness a few questions.
May it please the court, I have my own methods.
Your Honor, the defense counsel's lack of participation is due to the fact that the prosecution has established the defendant's guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt, and that attempting to defend him would be an exercise in futility.
Mr. Fisher, if you do have anything to say, now's the time to speak your piece.
All right, Your Honor. The defense will now call its only witness whose testimony will prove that my client is innocent.
Mr. Fisher, this is highly irregular.
Sir, in the cause of justice, I insist that he be heard.
I believe it would be a waste of time to call any more witnesses, Your Honor. Don't you agree?
Nope. Is your witness here in the courtroom?
Yes. I call Tom Sawyer.
You can go sit down now, miss.
Come forward, Tom. Don't be afraid.
Order, order in the court.
Ah, there you are. Well, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right, Tom? Everything will be all right. That chair up there's the witness stand. Have a seat and we'll begin.
Go ahead and sit down, boy. Haven't got all day, you know.
Tom don't know nothing, Mr. Fisher. What's he up there for?
We'll find out soon enough.
All right, quiet down. Order in the court.
Let me get a spot.
Your trial almost over?
It'll be over soon. Ain't no doubt that Potter's guilty. Yep.
So when you went to the graveyard that night, you weren't alone. You were with a friend, correct?
That's right.
And the name of your friend?
I'd rather not say less I have to.
At present, it's not important, and your loyalty to your friend is admirable. But later, we may have to know his identity, and then you'll have to tell us, all right?
Yes, sir.
Were you near Horace Williams' grave that night?
Yes, sir, that spot is real close to where I was.
Can you tell us how close you were, Tom?
Well, it was dark and all, but near as I can figure, about as close as I am to Muff right now.
Huh? And why didn't he see you?
I was hiding behind a tombstone.
I see. So at midnight, on the evening of June 17th, you were in the St. Petersburg Cemetery within a few feet of Hoss Williams' grave. Then you heard someone coming and hid behind a tombstone. What happened then, Tom? 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 Well, Tom?
Huh?
I would like you to describe the events that took place that night. You must tell us, or an innocent man will hang.
He didn't see nothing. He's bluffing.
There was 3 of them. Muff Potter and another man were arguing with Dr. Robinson. They all sounded real angry. It looked like Muff and the other man were about to attack Dr. Robinson. And then...
Now I'm gonna settle the score.
No!
And the man who did it is the man who's sitting in front of me right now.
Quiet down! Quiet down!
Better tend to your own well-being, boy.
Continue, Mr. Fisher.
It's that man, the one they call Injun Joe. He's the one who killed Dr. Robinson.
Hold it right there, Joe.
Hey, come on, everybody! He's getting away! That murderer! What are you waiting for?
Big man, let's go. Heck, the sheriff couldn't see him down himself.
I'm real sorry, Muff. If I'd have spoken up earlier, you wouldn't have had to go through all this, but I was too scared. You probably won't ever forgive me. It's okay. I don't blame you.
You saved me, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Bless you, boy. Bless you.
Somewhere out there, Injun Joe's on the loose. And as good as he is at sneaking and hiding, I got a pretty strong hunch that the posse won't catch him. And sooner or later, on some dark night, Injun Joe's gonna come looking for me to settle the score. I'm glad I saved Muff Potter's life, I truly am. It's my life I gotta worry about now.